modern democratic polity, there is a concept of a political executive. Political executive and permanent executive. Political executive and permanent executive. Elected people's representative from the political executive. Elected people's representative. There is a concept of political executive and permanent executive. Elected people representatives. Elected people representatives from the political executive. नेता मंत्री मैंने पॉलिटिकल एग्जीक्यूटिव होती कार्यपालिका and bureaucracy from the permanent executive. Ministers frame policy decision को and bureaucrats execute these frame करते policy decision को execute करते bureaucrats. In the initial decades after independence पर आरंभ decades the relationship between permanent executive and political executive were characterized by mutual understanding थिला, respect and cooperation थिला, without encouraging upon each other. परस्पर को encourage करते नहीं, over reach करते नहीं, without encouraging upon each other's domain. However, the subsequent decades, the situation has changed. There are instances of the political executive insisting upon the permanent executive, dominated the permanent executive to follow its agenda, its agenda. Respect for an appreciation of upright bureaucrats has declined. Respect for an appreciation of upright bureaucrats has declined. Respect for an there is an increasing tendency among the political executive. Body tendency among the political executive to get involved in routine administrative matters such as transfers, postings. There is an increasing tendency among the political executive to get involved in the routine administrative matters. Such as transfer or posting. Under the scenario, there is a definitive tendency towards the politicization of a bureaucracy. Under the scenario, there is a definitive trend towards politicization of a bureaucracy. The rising materialism and acquisitiveness. And acquisitiveness in social life has also adversely impacted. Rising materialism and acquisitiveness in social life has also adversely impacted upon the ethical values. Of both the permanent executive and the political executive. In social life, it has also adversely impacted upon the ethical values of both permanent executive and bureaucracy, political executive. What are the consequences of the politicization of bureaucracy? Politicization of bureaucracy refers to influence of political executive on the decision of a bureaucracy decision-making process. The influence of political executive on decision of permanent executive due to former role in appointment, transfer and post-retirement. Political executive, the influence of political executive on decision of the permanent executive due to former role in appointment, transfer and post-retirement benefits. Post-appointment, transfer and post-retirement lucrative. Further strengthen the culture of nepotism and corruption in administration system. Further strengthen the culture of nepotism and corruption in administration system. Recent decades, the situation has changed. There is instance of a political executive insisting of it leads to dilution of impartial, neutral and instrumental role of civil servant. Impartial, neutral role, it leads to an instrumental role. Officers seek patronage from politicians. Officers seek patronage from politicians for obtaining suitable position. Suitable position in the government. As the civil servants are getting identified with a particular political system, they are no longer neutral and take decisions that will favor for the political executives. They are no longer neutral and take decisions. Neutral and take a decision that will favor the political executives. They are no longer neutral न्यूट्रल रहती नहीं and take decision that will favor the political executive. Favor कर दे that will favor actually that executive will get patronage of a political executive, a political party. So they are biased, not neutral. Biased because after the transfer, appointment and post retirement benefits, particular political system, they are no longer neutral. Take decision that will favor the executive party, favor of the political executives. It further strengthens the culture of nepotism and corruption in administration system. Further strengthen the culture of nepotism and corruption in administration system. Further strengthen the culture of nepotism and corruption. Nepotism, and corruption in administration system. It further strengthen the culture of nepotism and corruption in administration system. It always so the bureaucracy away the political values of the government in passing its judgment over the program of the government. Judgment. Bureaucracy away the political values of the government in passing its judgment over programs of the government. Justification of a rejection of any government program is based on not only the merit of the merit of program. Political motivation. Thus, assessment of a government policy is driven by altered facts and not by free and fair objectives. Actually, bureaucracy always working for the benefit of the government and favor of political party. They are no longer neutral. Now they are biased. Most of the bureaucrats they follow the ideology and support the ideology of the party, fixed political party, fixed political executives. It leads to strengthen the discrimination as a politicized bureaucracy. Strengthening the discrimination as a because a certain section of society or particular individuals based on instruction of the government in distribution of public goods and service. It erodes the value of equality. Erode the value of equality enshrined in Indian Constitution. It leads to demotivation of honest civil servants. Demotivation of honest civil servants who want to work in line with the constitutional ideals and uphold values of civil service. Of a politicized bureaucracy may be seen as biased, which will lead to decline of legitimacy of state with the time. Legitimacy of bureaucracy. Decision to demotivation of honest civil servants who want to work in line with it. It leads to demotivation of honest civil servants who want to work in line with the constitutional ideals and uphold values of civil service. Uphold the values of civil service as the bureaucrats who take politically motivated decision only get a favorable transfer and lucrative postings that is in the hands of political class. Demotivation of the political bureaucrats who is innocent and noble and who was as a constitutional ideology. Leads to demotivation of honest civil servants who want to work with the constitutional ideals. Uphold the value of values of civil service. As the bureaucrats who take politically motivated decisions only get a favorable transfer and lucrative postings. Favorable transfer will get favorable transfer. Hindi transfer an independent bureaucracy can contribute to the effective policy making. The independent bureaucracy can contribute to effective policy making. Contribute to effective policy making Independent bureaucracy can contribute करती effective policy making, assess the long term social benefits of any policy. As bureaucracy actually effective policy making ପାଇଁ ensure uniformity in public administration and curb nepotism and corruption को curb करती माने curb करती dominate करती ensure uniformity in public administration रे uniform समानता equality assess the long term social benefits making contribute करती making public policy which assess the long term social benefit which assess करियो long term social benefit सामाजिक benefit of any policy. Civil servant follow the value of a public life. Civil servant follow करती the value of a public life like honesty. If a civil servant follow the value of the public life, if a civil servant follow करती value of public life like honesty, integrity, transparency, स्वच्छता, integrity, honesty, साधुता, selflessness, निस्वार्थपरता, one can better resist the temptation of to protect bureaucracy from getting politicized. There needs to be well-defined procedure occur for recruitment time to all government job. Open competition for recruitment to all posts. Open competition and minimization and elimination of discretion in the recruitment process. Minimization elimination of discretion. इच्छाधीन. One can better resist the temptation of a material. Safeguard bureaucracy from getting politicized to ensure the ethical reforms should be complemented with the constitutional reforms. Constitutional reforms to ensure this ethical reforms should be complemented with the constitutional reform, ethical reforms, and mindset of the public. Civil servant follows the values of public life like honesty, integrity, integrity, transparency, स्वच्छता, selflessness, निस्वार्थपर. One can better resist the temptation of a material, non-material elements. Of a politicized bureaucracy may be seen as biased, which will lead to decline of a legitimacy of a state with time. The decision of a politicized bureaucracy may be seen as biased, which will lead to decline of a legitimacy of a state with time. Politicized bureaucracy may be seen as biased, which will lead to decline of a legitimacy of state with time. May be seen as biased, which would lead to decline of legitimacy. Legitimacy decline होगा. Politicized bureaucracy. Decision of political bureaucracy biased, which will lead to decline of a legitimacy. that decline है जो आनिगत of state. Bureaucracy has the political value of a government passing its judgment over a program of a government. Bureaucracy justification program but also politically. The assessment of government policy is driven up altered facts, not by free and fair objectives. Assessment of a government policy or access of is driven by free and fair objectives, but